Well, hi guys, welcome back to Tactical Review. So if you've been paying attention to the channel on social media at all, I believe I've mentioned a couple of times that I've picked up quite a few flashlights over the last several months, and that it was getting to be high in time for me to do a flashlight video. Well, this begins that journey, and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do that. And so I decided that I was going to do like side-by-side comparison of a bunch of different lights, which you see arranged on the table in front of me. And I've actually got a couple of these lights that have stubbornly kind of refused to finish draining batteries for me in any kind of a timely fashion. And, well, it wasn't all quite as easy as I had hoped. And I also have some different classes of lights up here. I have an EDC light. This is on me nearly every day since I've gotten it. I have weapon lights here, which some are pistol lights as their primary design. Some are meant to be long gun lights, but then we've got the Warrior M2R Pro that could be used as just an EDC light. And I've also got a couple of EDC style keychain lights that I realized that I didn't even test. So I kind of decided to break this down more into subclass. And so this week we're going to be looking at the Olight Valkyrie PL-Pro and the Inforce APLc. And this is the Glock version, obviously. Matter of fact, you guys have seen this one on the channel a lot. It's just been hanging out underneath my pistol, which is cleared. It's been hanging out underneath my pistol, and a big part of the reason that I went with this is because my Four Brothers holsters were designed using APLc blocking, and I had not committed to any kind of pistol light at the time. So yeah, there we are. It's been a perfectly serviceable light, and sure. So what I did was, and you'll see this coming up on screen, I put a brand new battery in my APLc, and I would like to go on record as saying that this has already, since I purchased it earlier this year, has completely drained one battery, and I have not been doing a lot of flashlight drills with it. And I did end up going with Amazon Basics batteries to replace the original Inforce battery. I don't even remember what they sent with it. So that's what you're seeing up on screen is a fresh battery put into the APLc right before we started the video. And then the Valkyrie has a sealed type battery. This one is not replaceable. Some of the Olights are replaceable, and this is one of their many rechargeable offerings. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But again, up on screen, you're seeing the testing that I did. And while that's going, we're going to talk a little bit about these lights. Now, obviously, once you have committed to a light, if you've got a holster designed for good retention at all, you are fairly married to the light you've chosen, unless you change holsters and everything. I've got a couple of different holsters that I use. I don't have a range holster yet, so I might yet decide to make the change to the Valkyrie PL. But this particular one is going to end up on my AK-47, and I'll probably do a separate video on that, talking about it. But yeah, we're just coming out of the holiday season, and Olight runs sales all the time. Just keep an eye on the website, keep contacting your local Olight distributor, and I'm going to say that it should be very infrequent that you're paying full retail for the Olights. This particular light retails somewhere around $130, and I picked it up with the tape switch kit, which, okay, so you see this little magnetic circle right here. That's where the charger connects, and I'm sure that you've seen this. This isn't the first, I'm not the first YouTuber to do a video on any Olights. I may be one of the first ones to do a video on an Olight where Olight didn't send that video. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, so that's where the charger connects, but that's also, and you can see, that's a pretty serious connection there. That's how your tape switch connects too. So with that tape switch on there, I can push the button and blind myself off this white table. And you can rotate that around. There is a chance of that getting, if you're going to use it on a weapon in this configuration, keep in mind that could snag on something and possibly pull off. But it's going to be more likely to rotate, I think, than to pull off. And if it did, you'd still have your contact switches back here. And then it uses a quick disconnect style mounting attachment. It comes out of the box with a block for mounting it on Glock pistols. So you just press over, line that block up, snug it down, and there you go. Looks pretty snazzy. I like the way it looks on there. But again, my holsters already have me set up for retention on the APLc, and I need a light on my AK. So that's probably where this one is destined. And I'll go through all that later. Of course, you saw how quick it was to just take that on and off. If you're going to be using it on standard pick rail, you do that block right there. There's, I don't know if you can see those. There's the two little hex head screws in there. Olight includes in the box, those are Torx head screws. They include a little Torx driver and the block on there to put on there so that you can mount that on pick rail. The APL is not, in fact, you need a screwdriver to mount this one. I may have even talked about that a while back when I put it on there, but you've actually got to take the crossbar screw all the way out, slide the light in place, and tension that down. And I will say, get a little sloppy on this with the blue, the blue Loctite. I just put a little, when I first installed it, just put a little blue Loctite on the threads, and on range days it would back out, actually to the point one time where I wasn't able to reholster the pistol because the screw had backed out so far. So I put plenty of blue Loctite actually around the head of the screw and on the threads, and yeah, there you go. So anyway, you're seeing up on screen, you have been seeing up on screen, the two flashlights there. The Valkyrie has several light settings. Okay, it says that it's rated for 1500 lumens, and it will do 1500 lumens, and it does that using a turbo mode. So if you kick it into turbo mode, it will start out with an eye-searing 1500 lumens for a minute and a half, and then it will, over that minute and a half, it will ramp down to 600 lumens, which is still blinding, and it will maintain that for a manufacturer-specified 45 minutes. I did not test it at 600 lumens by virtue of the fact that I was comparing it directly against the APLc. The APLc is a 200 lumen flashlight, and I thought that was really low when I first bought it. I got stuff falling all over back here. I thought it was really low when I first bought it until I got it in, and yeah, I blinded myself, and my retinas have not liked me getting new flashlights. So anyway, I have the Valkyrie in low on the on-screen video, and that is a more comparable 300 lumens. So you can tell it's still brighter than the Inforce. And both lights are rated up to 90 minutes at that level. Again, the PL-Pro is only rated to 45 minutes, well, 46 and a half minutes if you use turbo mode, where it starts at 1500, goes down to 600. But at 300 lumens, which is more than enough to identify most threats within pistol range, I would estimate. Yeah, it's rated for 90 minutes. The Inforce is also rated for 90 minutes. In actuality, and I should have that coming to a close up on screen, you will see that with the Inforce running the Amazon Basics lithium batteries, I got an hour and 20 minutes and a few seconds. And the Valkyrie, again, with this sealed battery, it is not changeable, it's not replaceable. I got an hour and 24 minutes of runtime. So, brighter light, slightly longer runtime compared to Amazon batteries. And honestly, for the price difference, I will buy Amazon batteries in bulk and give up 10 minutes of runtime. So, is that saying that for sure I'm recommending the PL-Pro over the Inforce? I'm not necessarily saying that. There's a lot of things to consider. With the Inforce, let's say that you are, I don't know what your use case is, but if you need to grab the light and go within just a couple, or grab your pistol and go within a couple of minutes, and you click the button and you have no light, changing the battery on this is a matter of do that. Yeah, you know, it's not the fastest thing. Dump it out, put in a new battery, thread it back in, and go to work. And again, obviously, you want to ensure, because your hand's in front of the muzzle, you want to ensure that your weapon is clear. And you're good to go. If you pick up your pistol and you're using the Olight and your battery is dead, it's going to take you roughly an hour and a half to charge it back to full battery. So there's pros and cons, there's trade-offs. Everything is a compromise when it comes to weapons. We know that. So that's your one compromise. I will say, if you're going to carry with the Olight, I would purchase a holster that is open, that has a ring over the charger port, so that you can charge it in the holster. So maybe at night when you go to bed, I don't know. I'm not a fan of leaving rechargeable batteries on the charger overnight. The more I learn about batteries, I know they're rated in terms of full charge cycles. We don't have time to get into all that. My preference would be, as I was, chilling out for the night, throw it on the charger for like an hour. But that's just me. Nonetheless, you want to be able to charge it in a way that you know that your weapon is secure, but it's charged, it's ready to go when you need to grab it. And unfortunately, when the battery in here dies, as far as I know, it is in no way user serviceable. So it looks like there's a spring pin here. It may be possible to replace this. Olight has, I think it's a 5-year warranty on their lights. So if it were to die within that first 5 years, contact them and get it replaced. After that, who knows? Who knows what flashlight technology is going to look like in the next 5 years. So the last thing I want to do, though, before we wrap this up, is I want to show you some video comparing the light throw of these two lights. Again, I have the PL-Pro in 300 lumen low mode, so that it's a more direct comparison to the Inforce. So yeah, let's flip to that footage where I show the light throw of these two lights. All right, so again, here's the 200 lumen Inforce, and you can see it struggles, and it's really difficult to tell on the camera anyway, just because of the way that the camera sensors work. It lights things up to about 25 yards or so. There's some slight throw out there to 50 yards at the pine tree. Inside structures, absolutely enough light to identify targets and stuff. However, maybe not enough to do a lot of good outside. And then the Valkyrie PL-Pro. Let's see. All right, there's the 600. There's our 300 lumen. So you can see it's definitely brighter. Definitely better throw. I can see the pine tree lit up no problem. I'm able to start seeing some details back there in that pavilion. And I actually have light going back. I don't know if you can see it on the screen there. There's a gray electric box 100 yards away on the light pole back there at the fence to the baseball field. So again, Inforce, Valkyrie. See, the Inforce by itself, it's actually really difficult to pick up on the camera, where you could tell when I turn on that Valkyrie. And one more advantage again is that, so there's our 300, and with a quick double click, you get that 600 lumens. The Inforce doesn't offer that at all. So obviously the Valkyrie PL-Pro was quite a bit brighter than the Inforce APLc. But that's probably not the entire story. Cost also may come into effect. You can pick up an APLc off of Amazon right now for around $70. Now, there have been a few counterfeits come from Amazon. Amazon will take care of you. Double check, and if you read the reviews, they'll tell you how to tell whether or not you have a legit Inforce. I certainly got one, and of course you can always reach out to your various dealers and get away from some of the scamminess that can be Amazon. Again, if you're in the north central Indiana area, I highly recommend Four Brothers. At one point, he could get the Inforce. I know he is now an Olight dealer. So Jason's a great guy. Anyway, but Inforce running around $70, $80. You might see it as high as like $85. Again, I'm just going off of Amazon prices because I can pull that up really quickly. The Olight is running $130 on Amazon. It's a little bit better than 50% more. Actually, it's coming close to double the price of the Inforce. Is it double the light? Probably. And then, of course, slotting in between these for around $110, you can also get the Streamlight TLR1, which is an 800 lumen light. So that would be an interesting comparison. If I can get a hold of one of those, I may take the Olight in its 600 lumen setting up against a TLR1 800 lumen light. Again, that's going. There's a lot of variables there. I think I have a coworker who has the Streamlight. I'll take a look at that. That could be an interesting follow-up video. And again, we're going to have a video on a few different EDC, like pocket style lights. I'm going to do a video with this Streamlight HLX versus this Warrior M2R Pro. So we've got some other stuff coming up, but we're going to wrap up here. I think we're getting about long enough. So anyway, between these two, cost is no object. Depending on the sale you can catch, the Valkyrie is probably the better light. And I've got to say, I think it was the Black Friday special, and they were selling these for something like 60% off. And I got the tape switch and the light for $85, I think, or something. So if you're going to compare $70 against $85, absolutely go with the Olight. If we're going to compare normal retail price, you're going to have to let your budget dictate. And again, keep in mind, once you add a light to your pistol, now you need new holsters. Okay, really, you just need new holsters. So if you're already looking at switching up or switching into a weapon light, and that's a change you're going to be making, a holster for the Olight shouldn't cost any different than a holster for your pistol with the Inforce. But once you already have a light, that's a consideration to make. Okay, I've got, let's just say, I've got 2 IWB holsters and an OWB range holster, and if I change my light, I'm going to have to, on top of the cost of the light, I've also got the cost of those holsters. So it's something to bear in mind. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up. If I was starting from scratch and going with a weapons light, there's a good chance I would go with the Valkyrie instead for my pistol. Instead, again, this is going to make its way onto an AK-47. And yeah, because, you know, with your defensive weapons, you have to be able to positively identify your target, right? Depending on which order you've learned them in, that's your third or your fourth rule of safe firearms handling. Know your target and what lies beyond. Being able to see your target is part of knowing your target. That's enough out of me. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you would like to help support the channel financially, you can do that over on Patreon. I appreciate my Patreon supporters so much. You guys help to offset the cost of running a firearms channel. If you're not in a position to help support the channel financially, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that notification bell so that you know when we upload new content. And it really helped me out even if you just share the videos. Channel growth is an important part of supporting the channel. Follow the channel on social media. That's up here on screen right now. I am over on Facebook and Instagram. So follow the channel there. You'll get to see some behind the scenes pictures and some just general discussion. It gives us a good way to interact. And again, I appreciate my channel supporters so much. Thanks for watching. Until next time, shoot straight, stay safe.